Good morning, Buzz. Wednesday edition, your favorite Buzz. I'm your host, Gabi Lutz, joined by my co-host, the Terry Dickerson.
Who, me?
And yeah, you. Duh. And also in studio, I have so many lovely people. From my left to my right, I've got the Love Doctor, our segment host, Ian Love, our sportscaster,
That's right.
Sports Alex Braun,
Sports.
and then the lovely, my rising star, Ella Rising.
Hey. What a squad in this
It's a
studio
lovely
today.
group in studio today.
So
isn't it?
excited. And can I
No,
take a moment?
no,
I have to do it.
no.
I'm so sorry, everybody. This is Gabi Lutz's first buzz at Montclair State University. Can we all take a moment? But we're gonna make the most of it this spring season here on the Buzz. Are you so excited, Gabi?
I'm absolutely, positively excited. I couldn't be more excited right now.
I guess we just gotta get into it.
We just got to get into it.
What's first?
Ella Rising, my rising star.
Yes.
Will you please give me the news updates for the morning?
Of course.
Thank you.
So, this news story that I found that interested me: senators from both parties gathered in agreement this week to put an end to the monopoly that is Live Nation and Ticketmaster. The main issue is that these bots that Ticketmaster owns essentially eat up and immediately buy mass amounts of tickets, making it extremely difficult for regular people like you and I to get their hands on them first at original pricing. This all stemmed from the fiasco that was and still is the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. The most interesting part of the case was the Taylor Swift lyrics being used by senators during the hearing. Senator Mike Lee from Utah said, "She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers." And then Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut goes, "May I suggest Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem, it's me." And finally, Senator Mike Lee says again, "Some people think it's a solution. I think it's a nightmare dressed like a daydream."
This is so interesting. I need to comment on this really quick.
I
before
was
we
gonna
get
say,
into
if
the-
there's anything that everybody can agree on, it's the Taylor Swift ticket problem.
Yeah, that and like these are such corny comebacks. But regardless, this Ticketmaster Live Nation thing is really, it's honestly, I'm glad people are bringing it to the surface because I feel like Monopoly is a little whack. I thought we were done with the Monopoly thing way back in history and all that stuff, but you really see how it's affecting artists. If you know Lawrence, the band, Clyde Lawrence from that band went to talk to the Senate that day as well, and really beautifully laid out how much Live Nation / Ticketmaster takes from the artists as opposed to the artists gaining. And then you really think about like when artists go on these big tours through Live Nation and Ticketmaster, it's just like, wow, they're really putting so much of themselves to tour out there financially and physically and all this stuff, and they're really not getting that much back. So I'm glad people are speaking out to the Senate, and I hope things can be done about this, just because I want everybody to get a fair share of what they've earned, especially in this industry. Everybody should be winning, especially with such an art form. But if Ticketmaster / Live Nation is like joining together and making far more money than they should be, then that's not fair. So it's kind of horrible, in my opinion. But I wish there were more comebacks from our senators other than Taylor Swift references, because that's a little corny.
They're very corny. You know what's not corny?
What's not corny?
Sports.
Sports.
That's the only time I'll ever say that, Alex. You'll never hear that come out of my mouth again. So please take that and do it.
Sports. Hi, I'm Alex Braun, and this is your Sportscast. Today in the last night in the NHL, the New Jersey Devils were able to pull off a win against the Las Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime. And the New York Rangers will play tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs at 7. In the NBA, the New York Knicks just squeaked out a win against the Cleveland Cavaliers 105-103. And the Brooklyn Nets will be going against the Philadelphia 76ers at 7:30.
Go Sixers.
In Montclair sports news, the Montclair State's women's basketball team stormed back to knock off Rutgers Camden 68-59 in the New Jersey Athletic Conference action. And the Montclair State men's basketball team knocked off Rutgers Camden 81-61. And today in sports history, in 1924, today, the first Winter Olympic Games were played in Charminx, France.
Beautiful.
I've been Alex, and this has been Sports.
Sports. That was
Sports.
so lovely. Thank you, Alex Braun. My brains and brawn for the day.
That was good.
Thank
It's
you.
good,
I like that.
right? Isn't that
Brains
cute?
and Bronze.
Cute
with
little,
Alex
Do like
Garland.
that.
cute little nicknames.
Write that down.
Write that down. Write that down. I only give nicknames in this studio. Terry's the only one who doesn't have like a little nickname
I do. I just can't say it on air.
because but she also just doesn't need one.
Oh.
She's just not that you all need one. She's just Terry, you know.
Hi.
I
That's me.
can't do anything about that. She's just Terry.
I know.
But let's move on to some news, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Ukraine is receiving tanks from Western allies. After a fierce debate between Western countries, Ukraine is set to receive battle tanks for an anticipated Russian offensive. Germany will provide 14 Leopard 2 tanks as a first step and will allow other European nations to do the same. Ukrainian soldiers will be trained for the use of these tanks. Chancellor of Germany Olaf Scholz said, and quote, "This decision follows our well-known line of supporting Ukraine to the best of our ability. We are acting in a closely coordinated manner internationally," end quote. This comes after a week-long pressure campaign on Germany to do more for the support of Ukraine's efforts against Russia.
This is fascinating just because I don't think people really, because Ukraine and Russia's conflict hasn't been in the news that much, that people forget that it's actually still going
I know.
on.
I'm not even gonna lie. I am one of those people.
Yeah.
Like I forget about it and then I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's still happening. And I feel awful that I forget,
Yeah.
of course. But I mean, it's something that's been going on for so long now. We were talking about this, what, like 2 semesters ago? At this point?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like crazy how long it's been going on. And
I'm really happy to see the more allocation of resources towards Ukraine. It's been a long time coming because I feel like since the beginning, people were and are still really apprehensive and like stepping in and like providing too much, quote unquote, or stepping like having too much of an influence on the Ukraine-Russia conflict because I think people are afraid of Russia and they're afraid of what Russia can do and like setting off an entire world war. I am too. I'm not a politician or in the military. I'm afraid of that too.
yeah.
But regardless, I think Ukraine is low-key kind of owed some sort of help just because they've done a lot on their own. And to just see another country get harmed so poorly at the hands of such a world power for absolutely no reason, in my opinion, is disheartening. So I'm glad to see that they got some tanks going on and that they're going to be getting like more defense and stuff like that.
And I'm glad Germany's helping them because Germany's such a big country, you know.
Yeah.
That like they can provide that help to them, and if a world war happens, I mean,
please,
Germany's been there done that.
I don't want to think about it, please.
I know, but we're not gonna think about that.
I want to think about something else, which is kind of not equally as terrible, but just as terrible. Hey, New Jersey, where's the snow? Actually, the snow's coming up quite soon, maybe
literally probably
today.
about to happen like as we speak.
We speak. So according to weather reports, New Jersey will be impacted by a winter storm, which will bring a mixture of snow, sleet, and rain with winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. The National Weather Service says the storm will likely cause slick road conditions, especially in areas north and west of Interstate 95. The snow is expected to arrive around 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. in western and central Jersey, and between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. in eastern sections. The National Weather Service predicts 2 to 5 inches of snow in western Passaic County and 2 to 4 inches of snow in Sussex County. They also predicted 1.5 inches of rain in most areas of New Jersey. I don't know how to feel about the snow thing. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we haven't had a good snow in a while, like a couple years, but the mixture between like the rain and the snow to me is
sleet
horrible.
Oh,
it's
sleet
horrible.
is absolutely terrible. I
horrible.
absolutely cannot stand it.
The
It's
other
not
day
brilliant,
was
that's for
awful.
sure.
When it was like cold,
Yeah.
freezing rain.
Yes, that was terrible, and I had to walk to class in that.
Oh, I was doing laundry in that, and I like was walking back, and the ice got down my shirt, and I was like,
Yeah,
that's really
kinda
not
rough.
fun.
And it's when the shuttles don't come and I have to walk in that, it's just not
I
a good
know.
time. But I want a good snow. I'm tired of like
Yeah.
the wet and the sticky,
I
yucky.
personally only like snow when it's a good snow.
Yes.
Like if it's like a good like foot or so, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm there. Everything's canceled. I can go play out in it. I don't care.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm 21. I don't care. I'm still a kid. And That's fantastic. But when it's like the snow that we had the other day that was like flurries and it made my jacket all wet and that was it, I
Yes.
hated that.
It's horrible.
Like, that's not a moment, you know.
I took off my coat when I sat down for class. I put it behind my chair and I forgot my coat was still wet. And then I got up and my pants were wet and it was kind of rough.
Oh,
So I wish the snow was snow and not wet, like slushy
I know.
yuckiness.
I'm afraid that it's gonna be like disgusting today.
It probably is, but if you catch yourself on the roads, please be careful. Do your best. And if you feel like it, I don't know, I can't tell you what to do, but please be safe out on the roads today. If you want, it should be starting about 40 minutes or so. So be careful.
No, my thing's saying like snow stopping, and I'm like, it hasn't even snowed yet. Let's relax.
I know. So
Okay.
like, I just woke up.
I'm like, I swear it just happened.
Yes.
Like 2 seconds ago. So how do we feel? Let's get the jury here. How do we feel? Snow.
I want snow if it sticks.
You want
Ian-
snow if it sticks.
Ian
Say it
wants-
in, yeah.
I'm a huge snow fan. I think next to fall, winter is probably my favorite season.
Interesting.
But I'm in agreement that snow, if it sticks, it's wonderful. It's great. It's like nostalgic in a way. I also do just love watching snow fall.
Mhm.
So even if it doesn't stick, like the other day, like it was a fun time watching the snow fall. It was just I liked the reaping. I did not like the sowing. I did
Yeah.
not like sowing what I reaped.
I like
or
that.
reaping.
That was such a good little
That was
moment
good.
right there.
You know,
That was cute.
I didn't like the repercussions of all of it, but if it sticks and like all of that, immaculate. You can't get better.
Yeah, it's like a postcard.
Mhm.
It's like a postcard moment, you know.
Like a postcard moment. I'm done.
Alex.
Yes, I do love the snow. I like all types of snow. I like the snow that sticks on the ground. I like the big, like weird snow that just like happens at like 39 degrees for random reasons. Just like all that type of snow. My favorite snow is when it does stick on the ground and I can make like a snowman
Mhm.
because that's what I used to do when I was little.
Yes.
But like if I could just walk outside with my tongue sticking out and I catch snow on my tongue, I'm a happy boy.
So sweet. Ella.
So I grew up in the South, so I have like little to no experience with snow. So like snow
Interesting.
just like amazes me. I'm just like,
Where
what
in
is
the
that?
South?
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Oh my god.
So I'm just like,
Wait,
this is crazy.
So was your first snow in New Jersey?
No, it like snows and well, okay, so like Monday, that slush stuff, like school would have been canceled for 3 days. Like that's not
Really?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. North
Like,
Carolina, you're
that's-
dramatic.
yeah,
So
pretty much.
dramatic.
But
I thought I was
so.
dramatic.
I don't think it'll snow like more than an inch there like once every 4 years, maybe.
Whoa.
So I don't really know snow.
That's
Like I've just never lived in it.
That's like in Drake and Josh when
Oh.
they're in California and they don't know the snow, so then they get like the cheese grater and they have all
Oh
the-
my God, I love that.
That's what Drake and Josh, it's
funny.
Christmas.
Yeah. He throws the cheese in the wood chipper.
Yeah, and then it just
A classic.
and it's literally cheese. That's just all it is.
Smelled so
What is
bad.
It must have.
Interesting.
No, it must have smelled good. It must have smelled like
California morning.
that would have been like, what does it feel like to be spaghetti?
Uh,
That's that moment right there. And on that note,
yeah, I need a break so I can think
that
about
note,
that.
you think about what it feels like to be spaghetti in a bowl in the hot California sun. And we're going to take a break here on the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Looking for the real MSU Redhawks
I'm sorry, Zoom. I got you. I was getting there. There's so many buttons to press. You know, you got to press them all at one point. Anyways, we are back here on the Morning Buzz, and we have more news for you. Because why wouldn't we have more news for you, right? All right. So there is an update on the Half Moon Bay Farms shooting in California. So 7 people were killed in a shooting at 2 mushroom farms located in Half Moon Bay, California. Authorities believe the massacre was a work violence incident. The suspect, Chun-Li Chow. I'm really bad at names. Chow. That's what I thought. Okay. Worked in the farms where the shooting occurred. Chow was arrested after police found him and his car parked in one of the San Mateo County's substations. Chow opened fire in mountain mushroom farms and in a nearby farm. This is the 3rd mass shooting in California in 9 days. What's going on over there in California?
What's going on in this country? I also
I
want
know,
to
but
add,
like California.
yeah, I don't know. And like, I want to add that according to CBS, we've seen 39 mass shootings so far this month.
Isn't that
Yeah,
insane?
I saw that the other day.
The month
far
isn't
this
even
month.
over. We still have like
I don't understand
6 days left.
how often we need to talk about the fact that this isn't normal. We shouldn't be normalizing the fact that America has a gun problem.
Yeah.
And people want to argue so much for the gun laws and like keeping their guns. So like, I get so worked up over this just because like I'm very much like pro regulation,
Yeah.
and obviously my opinions do not reflect the stations, but I'm just really tired of seeing people die
Yeah.
and people be irresponsible with their guns. I'm not anti-guns. People can arm themselves and have defense weapons or whatever, but
But there should be intense regulations.
I absolutely, because we have a problem. We have a
Mhm.
problem. If we're not doing anything to fix it, more people are gonna die like for no reason.
It should be incredibly hard for somebody to get a gun, and in a lot of states that's not the case.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be chalked up to just being called a work violence incident at this point.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be normalizing things like this because absolutely no other country has it this bad as we
Mhm.
do. We're supposed to be land of the free, home of the brave, but
Yeah.
people can't even walk like in public areas without being worried that
You
this
can't even
might
go to
be the day.
work,
You can't even go to work.
right? Like work violence incident. Well, it's not just a work violence incident. 7 people are dead and 1 is injured, you know? Like that's not something that, you know, is light.
Yeah,
You know,
you
that's
don't
not
just
okay.
boil that down to something so simple and infantilize it just because it's so normal. And
Yeah.
I'm really infuriated at the fact that we always have to report on these stories. Well,
Mhm.
they are important, like don't get me wrong. It's just that I'm upset and I'm frustrated. I'm tired of seeing people die at the hands of gun violence because it just should not be a thing. Like these people should be alive.
And 3 mass shootings in California in just 9 days.
That's horrible.
There's something there that's a problem. I mean, it's a problem already, but like something in that is not adding up, and it needs to add up.
Yeah, there's many nuances that go into this, like gun law regulation, mental health, education, all this stuff. It's just the matter of when are we going to take this seriously? I feel like the people for the most part want to take it seriously. It's our leadership, and it's really disheartening when we see such inaction from our leaders when people are dying. And I will reiterate this again and again. How many times do people have to die for people to understand that this is an issue? It's a pandemic in itself, or an epidemic on America's scale, and it's frustrating.
And you know,
I'm tired of it.
And it also has to do with, you know, mental health, right? Because obviously mentally there is something wrong with this human who decided to go and shoot his coworkers, right? So I think there's always a need for mental health resources. I mean, I know here at Montclair, we definitely have plenty if you just look.
Yeah. CAPS is there for anybody who needs it on campus, counseling and psychological services. And I really appreciate our campus for going to the lengths that it does to make sure that our students feel supported. But I feel like some institutions don't have such a strong mental health program. Some workplaces don't have a strong mental health program. High schools, elementary schools, etc. Like there's still more work to be done to make sure that people get the resources that they need so that they don't go and do these things.
For sure. And a lot of workplaces don't have that mental health, like, you know, like they don't have that care for mental health as they do, because they're just like, oh, money, work, like you need to work. I don't care if you feel sick in the brain or sick like actually.
Right.
They just want the work done and they don't like have those mental health resources. So
yeah, and I think it's important
Yeah.
what you had just said in terms of mental health being treated as like a normal physical illness. I think that's
Yeah.
really important. I'm a resident assistant on campus, and we were one of the first student leader groups on campus to go through mental health first aid training.
yeah.
And it was really extensive, but I'm really glad that we had to go through it, because I think now, like me, like I've had a big background in mental health support and stuff like that in terms of
Mhm.
supporting others, but others came out of that training and they were like, wow, I didn't think about how much actually goes into supporting someone mentally, and how to
Yeah.
be reassuring and provide resources even when you're not a professional yourself. So I think it's important to look into those resources, even if you're not going through any like mental health issues or mental illness issues yourself, to
Yeah.
educate yourself on how you can support and see the signs around you,
Mhm.
because it kind of prevents people from being violent and volatile.
100%. I mean, like, and this is like more of a personal thing, but there was one time where my mental health was so bad that I literally was crying to my parents on the phone because I couldn't go do my laundry.
Right.
Like it can get
gets
that
that bad,
bad. Yeah. And it can inhibit you from doing things just as much as like an actual like physical sickness can do. You know, actually sometimes I feel like I function better with an actual sickness than I do when my mental health is really
Right.
down the drain. So I mean, it's just as important, and I wish a lot more like workplaces specifically cared about it, because obviously there was something going on with this guy's brain, because
Yeah.
no regular person wants to go and shoot people they know, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just something that needs to be discussed, as well as, you know, gun restrictions, and it's just as important. But
Absolutely. Like, regardless of motive, this was absolutely unacceptable, and it's more than frustrating to see this continue to happen. And it just keeps showing us that our society has more work to be done.
for sure.
So on that note, we're going to get into our next story. We are talking about classified documents found in Mike Pence's Indiana home. Classified government documents were found in former Vice President Mike Pence's home in Indiana and have been turned over to the FBI. Pence's lawyer conducted a search of his home and discovered a dozen documents marked, quote, classified. The documents are undergoing an investigation by the Department of Justice, National Security, and the FBI. This event occurs after classified documents were found in President Joe Biden's Delaware home last Friday. Pence is the third high-profile official to have confidential material in his possession. Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are currently being investigated by a special counsel under the Department of Justice.
Can we be real for a second?
Let's be real.
If they went through every single home of every single past president or vice president, you were going to find classified documents in
That's
that
what
house.
I feel like, right? Is that like really
Like,
messed up to assume? I feel like they
no,
all
it's not, because you know what? What they're now doing is they're now going through the homes ever since Mar-a-Lago. They went through Biden's, they went through Pence's, you know, they're now going through everybody's, and they're finding something literally in every single one of their homes. It's just what happens, you know, because they work in office for so long, you know, and they have these documents in there, and it's in their hands, and they think it's theirs, and then they bring it home. Like, this is very common. And I'm sure if you go in Obama's house, if you go in Clinton's house, if you go in literally anybody's house that's not the White House, I'm sure they have at least one classified document.
And if we're wrong in our assumptions, someone could, the president could call us up if he wants to.
Call me up,
let us
Mr.
know.
President. It would be an
Anybody.
honor.
But like, I kind of feel like there has to be a layer of they know that they may get searched, right? I feel like after Mar-a-Lago, especially, there has to be a layer of like, yeah, these people can come search my home at any time, and like, I have these documents in here. Like, first, like, part of me feels like they're not trying to hide them. Yeah, and I don't think.
But you know what? If you're gonna charge one, you got to charge all of them. I'm sorry, you can't just charge, like, if you're gonna charge Biden, you better charge Trump. If you're gonna charge Trump, you better charge Biden and Pence. I don't care. You have to you have to treat everybody with fairness. If you're gonna search everybody's homes,
yeah, I wonder.
Then do it correctly. Do it properly.
Prompted this investigation, but regardless, I think
definitely Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there just needs to be a set standard. If you don't want the classified documents in their personal homes and stuff like that, I think we need to be holding those leaders to a standard in which they shouldn't be doing that and being more strict on that.
Yeah.
Just because, again, they are classified documents that could contain really sensitive information about our country, and you're taking them home to the dinner table.
Why are you taking? If they're in the White House, that's one story, because you're living in the White House as your intern. Why are you bringing them to your Indiana home or your Delaware home? Like, what? Why?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna be real. you shouldn't bring work back home. Go chill out with your family.
You shouldn't
and-
bring work home even if you aren't the president.
you just shouldn't do that,
Hang out with your
period.
family.
That's
Yeah.
really poor boundaries on your part, y'all. But regardless, like that, I don't know. I feel weird when they're like, "Oh, we found classified documents in their home." I'm just like, why did you bring that? I
I
really
wanna-
want to know.
I want to know how classified these documents are.
Yeah.
Is it like
Is it just like as a formality? Is it just like as
Yeah.
a formality it's called classified, or like how many documents are labeled
Yeah.
classified? What causes that?
I really
know.
want to know how classified. Like, is
are
it
they
like
nuclear launch codes, or is it like people's like
The White House
Club
is
page-
like,
or is it
Sorry,
like
Like the White
yeah,
House
is it
Wi-Fi
like
password.
the name of your private chef? Like you know?
List of people's birthdays.
List of important birthdays.
Yeah,
Every country's leader's birthday is what it is.
you know what? Maybe it's not. If that's the case, happy birthday.
That's so funny to me. That's probably what it is too. They're probably like, I can't remember. I cannot remember Vladimir Putin's birthday. Hold on.
I remember. I heard recently about a while ago an incident that happened. I believe it was when Obama was leaving the White House, that him and then Vice President Joe Biden found a classified document within the White House. And their first instinct was they called up all the different departments like, hey, there's this document here. We haven't touched it. Somebody come pick it up. Whoever's department this belongs to, come pick it up. We don't want it here. Put it where it belongs.
so
Which
smart.
is
Yeah.
like,
You would think
You
that they would
yeah,
continue to do such.
you would think.
I
And
hope
you
they
would think that there's
continue.
somebody like keeping track of the documents.
Yeah, I feel like there should be like a sign out process. I don't know, like a
little library sign out.
Like, I don't know, like you're telling me there's not one person's job who it keeps track of the documents leaving and entering the building? Like there really isn't.
Yeah.
Come
There
on.
should be somebody at least a clipboard you could just sign your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like the secretary from Monsters Inc. It's like
Ross.
your name, and then you sign,
Biden.
and you just sign out your document for the day. Wait, yeah.
I'm just thinking of Ross just sitting in like the Oval Office, like your name, and he's like Biden, President Biden.
She just like never heard of you. Anyways,
She's like, I only know Wazowski.
I'll get you was house.
Always watching.
Legal and important document.
Oh my gosh. I think we have fallen completely off the rails. Monday is 5 to 6.
oh my god.
Anyways,
What a break.
anyways, you know what else is a classified document? The new Paramore album that comes out in February. So in honor of that, I'm going to be playing Ignorance by Paramore here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Stay tuned. We'll be back with some more news. And that was Ignorance by Paramore here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I hope you enjoyed that song because I very much love that song.
Our
So,
Facebook friends saw me jamming out, so I hope they
I'm-
enjoyed the show.
oh my
Hi,
gosh.
Mom.
I love when we have a little show for our viewers and they literally have no clue what we're listening to.
Truly, truly. I perform though.
Yeah.
I'm stopping.
Oh no. Sound never stops you.
Never.
We always put on a
Never.
performance.
Well, let's get into it.
You know who else puts on a performance?
Cool.
People who work in customer service.
Honestly, that's so real. Shout out to them
Shout out to them, you know.
because I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how they do it
It's
either.
truly a skill.
Because if we're being completely honest, they deserve those tips.
That's true.
The way that they deal with people, they deserve tips. But are tips becoming out of control?
Maybe.
Let's find out. So tipping is getting out of hand, according to many consumers who are tired of giving a gratuity for a muffin, donut, or coffee. As businesses establish different digital payment methods, customers are prompted to leave a tip at stores they wouldn't normally. Etiquette expert Thomas Farley said, end quote, suddenly these screens are at every establishment we encounter. They're popping up online as well as for online orders. And I fear that there is no end, end quote. Consumers usually leave tips in places like restaurants because workers get paid lower than the minimum wage. Academics who study the topic say that coffee shops and other counter eateries do get paid minimum wage. Experts say digital payment methods have grown significantly because of the COVID-19 pandemic and caused people to be more generous with their tips. So this is all very true. If you go anywhere, there is a tip option, which is convenient and nice. And as somebody who has worked especially in food, it's very nice to go home with some tips. But it shouldn't feel like it's required.
Yeah, I feel that
You
too.
know?
Because I feel like once people started to switch to like, I don't know what it's called, but you know when it's that white like touch screen little pay thing?
Yes.
You know what I'm
iPad.
talking about.
I
That
see
little
one of those
iPad
and I know
thing.
I'm gonna have to tip.
Yeah, and like you know what's so nerve-wracking when like I give the person my card and they swipe it and then they turn the screen around towards me to tip and I'm like,
And then they
Oh.
watch you and you're like, no tip.
No, they always say they're like, oh, it's just gonna ask you a few questions.
yeah.
And it's literally just tip.
You want to like just slide this little
Mhm.
thing over and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And like I had to build up thick skin to say no just
I
because I
know.
felt bad, but at the same time like I don't think it makes sense for me to go to a Starbucks and like
Yeah.
sometimes I tip at Starbucks and stuff like that, but they
Oh,
get paid
tips.
well.
I tip at Starbucks because that was a place that they would take tips way before COVID.
That
Like
exactly.
coffee shops and all, like baristas, like I tip them because like they do, like they make the drinks all like
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But there are like places that I'm just like, you literally just took that sandwich, put it in a bag, and you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't quite make sense, but like
Mhm.
I'm like on the fence because like for small businesses and like family owned businesses and stuff, I like to tip just because
Mhm.
they put a lot of like love and care into their food and into their customers. But for big chains where quite literally it does not make sense to tip, I'm like,
I
yeah,
know.
no, I'm okay. Sometimes
know.
I just don't got it. I'm so sorry. That 20% makes a
I know.
big difference when
It really
you're not getting paid
does.
yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's, you know, there's this thing of like truly when it was COVID, like I completely, first of all, was appreciative of it and did tip because, you know, we were working in a time where like not everybody was working and yet here we were out having to deal with, you know, the dangers of possibly getting COVID and this, that, and the other thing.
Exactly.
But now it's like, okay, you're not dealing with dangers any more than I am.
Right.
And I don't know, like last night I went to get gelato and because I really wanted gelato. And I went and there was nobody in this room. And she literally just scooped 3 scoops of gelato, put it in a cup and gave it to me. And I tipped her like $2.
You paid $2 extra for your gelato.
And that
In
was
that sense.
and that was $10.
That's a lot.
That's a long cup of gelato.
I just got the gelato.
Like, what is that? First of all, it was $8 for the gelato.
I just
Ridiculous. Then you had $2 extra.
like at that point, if you're gonna charge that much for your products, how about you just pay your workers a livable
Just like a
wage,
teeny bit more.
or just like a little bit more.
I was like, she barely did it. Like, and really nice person, like, you know, but like 1, 2, 3.
no, like
And 2 of my flavors were the same.
I feel like I could go around the counter and just do it myself.
And I can and I have. You know? It's not even like gelato is hard to scoop. That stuff is soft. You just kind of scoop it out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
just feel out the vibe. Like if I'm feeling like, oh, this person put a lot of love and care into like what they just did for me, I'm like, yeah,
Love
for
and
sure.
carrot.
You know, if they put a lot of love into it, I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like I said, for like small businesses, family-owned businesses, I went to
Oh yeah,
like,
small businesses 100%.
absolutely, I'm gonna do it. But at the same time, like if I go to a business, like why am I tipping at like a comic book store or something? Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It
Like,
doesn't.
in my brain, I'm like,
Mm-mm.
that's
What's
not
next?
right.
Target's gonna be like, do you want to tip 20% to your cashier? Or
Yeah.
something?
Right. Miss me with that. You know
No,
what,
right?
another weird place I tip at? I tip at the gas station sometimes. Like
Yeah, I do that too.
you do that?
I've
'Cause
never done that.
I know some people who do it and some people don't. I do it if like, because I know some gas attendants like to do the windshield thing.
Yeah.
And if they do that for me, like without asking, I just like give them a couple bucks because I'm like, I really appreciate that. I don't know how anybody else feels about that.
Well,
Our producer Victor is in the script going, can we get tips if it's a self-service? I'd be getting tips every time because I always use the
I think it's
self-service.
shoplifting.
You just don't scan an item.
I also have a problem. They're like also raising the percentage. Like I went to a store the other day and it was like starting at 18%.
Right?
Yeah, they were
I
like,
thought I was the only person who
Yeah.
noticed that.
and then it's like 25%. I'm sorry, I've never tipped
I
25%.
was like, why is
I will not.
it's tipping suffering from inflation now too?
Yeah,
What's
like what is going on?
I understood around the time that the pandemic initially hit
Yeah.
that I increased tip because of course it was a hard time for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But that's one of the things where it's kind of just stayed like that
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting
Worse. So
Mhm.
bad. Yeah, 25%. I'm sorry. You scooped my ice cream. I like 3 scoops of ice cream. I do that for myself when I have a big tub of it at home. I don't need it for free. Like,
Okay, wait. I really want Victor to take the mic really quick because he just said that he wants paid 100% tip. And Victor, please chime in. I need you to tell these people why.
Hi, I am Victor Muñiz. I'm the assistant producer of the Morning Bus, and I just wrote in the script. You know, I don't speak. I usually love speaking, so I just type. I once paid 100% tip. Cup of coffee was $2. You know, I felt so good when I paid that. I paid that 100% tip. I was like, you know what? Take the $2 more. You know?
Buy yourself something nice.
now when they buy themselves a cup of coffee.
High baller Victor's giving them $4.
It's all about grind, you know.
Oh my God. He's a wealthy man. On
They're just
that
like
note,
pay it forward.
I think everybody's coffee today is on Victor.
Everybody, every listener's coffee on Victor.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. It's not a joke for me though. I'll see you after the show.
Yeah, no, you're gonna buy me a coffee now.
Can it be like I can take you to Sam's Freeman?
No, because then I have to pay to get in Sam's and Freeman.
No, he's giving us
And
a
that's gonna be
swipe.
more expensive. Oh, you're gonna swipe me in?
He'll do a spicy swipe.
Amazing.
Hashtag college student things.
Yes.
So fun.
So good and fun and fresh.
I kind of want to move on to the segment because I feel in my heart
Like you're
that
ready.
we are going to talk so much about our brand new segment for this morning buzz.
Brand new segment host.
Who's
The
our
love.
host? Is he out there in the airwaves?
I think his name's the Love Doctor, but I could be wrong.
Oh, that would be me.
The Love Doctor is
Hey guys. The segment still does not have a name, workshopping it, but for now, we're just gonna call it
Broadway Baby.
yeah, this is
Broadway
Broadway baby. I like that. I had to stick with that. So, coming at you, all things Broadway. So we're gonna start with any new shows that are opening within the next or from the past week up until today. And the only one that I could find is off Broadway for today and today only. You can go and see selected shorts, The Stories We Tell Ourselves with Brooke Gladstone at the Peter J. Sharp Theater at Symphony Space, only for today. It is curated by Brooke Gladstone, and it is more of like a compilation of stories being told by other performers, such as Richard Masser, Janasa, cannot pronounce the last name, so sorry, and also BB Newirth, who some people might know. On Broadway, there does not appear to be any shows opening within the next week. However, there does appear to be some shows closing. Off Broadway, sadly, we are saying goodbye to Heaven at the 59 theaters this Sunday, January 29th. It was written by Eugene O'Brien and directed by Jim Colton. And on Broadway, we are saying goodbye to Piano Lesson at the Ethel Barrymore Theater, also this Sunday on the 29th. It was written by August Wilson, directed by LaTanya Richardson Jackson, and it's very notable because it does star Samuel L. Jackson, which created quite a lot of buzz when it was initially announced. I believe they moved theaters at one point in order to get themselves a longer run.
Wow.
But sadly, this run is coming to an end.
The run was not long enough.
The run was not long enough. I feel like there's a lot of shows with runs not long enough these days.
So real.
It's very true. Absolutely.
So in some other news, two very fun casting additions that happened in the last week. The first one is Jinx Monsoon joining the cast of Chicago from January 16th to March 12th. I have stuff pulled up here. Jinx Monsoon is known for her drag career, RuPaul's Drag Race. I know there's a lot of very big fans there. Stepped into the role of Mama Morton in Chicago, which I've heard great things about the show. I've heard great things about the performance.
So exciting.
I think it's very exciting. A pretty big name. I know a lot of people who are huge fans, so
I remember Jinx Monsoon from Drag Race.
I remember Mama Morton from Chicago.
When worlds collide.
And the casting edition of the last week or so that I am most happy
I
about,
just like squealed into the mic. I'm so sorry. I love him.
we saw the return of the king himself. Aaron Tveit returned to Moulin Rouge on January 17th for a 12-week run.
That man.
Aaron Tveit, who originated the role of Christian Moulin Rouge, stepping back. I'm looking at the picture right now, and
He's so beautiful.
oh my
I
goodness.
can't even lie. I'm so in love with that man.
I'll get back.
Look
We'll
at that
talk.
man.
We'll talk more about it
He's
later.
so beautiful.
But I
I'm
did get the
sorry.
chance to see him in it and literally melting. Okay, we had to finish the rest of the stuff. Oh. Anyway, so as for new shows that have been announced recently, they just announced that the musical Camelot will be coming to Broadway's Vivian Beaumont Theater starting March 9th for previews, with an official opening date set for April 13th. This new is it a revival or is it a new one? It is a new version of a classic show starring Taylor Trench, who I believe most people would know from Dear Evan Hansen, where he stepped into the role as Evan Hansen.
Woo!
So it is based on The Once and Future King by T.H. White, and is a follow-up to the story of My Fair Lady, which sounds very interesting because we do not often see sequels in musicals. The only one I can think of is Love Never Dies, the sequel to Phantom.
Oh God.
That everybody forgets, whether willfully or like just mostly willfully.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh,
Can't
I saw
stand
the
that man.
marquee for Bad Cinderella yesterday, forgetting that it was going to be a thing. I'm your bad Cinderella.
Oh no.
As for general theater news, so sadly there have been a lot of shows closing recently. Some standouts are Beetlejuice,
That's so sad.
Music Man, Into the Woods, Strange Loop, which surprises me after just winning the Best Musical Tony Award, closed very quickly, which was very disappointing. Some interesting news of castings that will be happening. Adrienne Warren will be returning to Broadway in Room. Adrienne Warren, known for Tina, I believe won the Tony Award for it in the 2021 season or 2020. And a very interesting casting news to come out is that Maud Apatow,
Please, Apatow.
Maud
Yeah.
Apatow, known for Euphoria, is going to be joining the cast of Little Shop of Horrors as Audrey.
This is a perfect casting
Mhm.
because she's
That's one of my
Lexi.
questions, actually, because of how they wanted to do this specific production of Little Shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So we also have there's a new musical in development with Brian Darcy James and Kelly O'Hara called Wine and Roses. It is going to be featuring a book by Craig Lucas, music and lyrics by Adam Butel, and direction by Michael Grief. So
is the song "Days of Wine and Roses" gonna be in that musical? Because if it's not, I will be upset.
if it's not, that'll be a pretty big.
That would be just a big
Yeah.
upset.
Miss
You know,
miss opportunity.
right?
It'll start performances, it looks like, in May for a limited engagement at the Linda Gross Theater. And also, it is January, and we are hitting what we've seen years past, like time and time again. There is a Broadway slump going on because it's after the holidays. People have gone out to see their holiday shows, and it's also the time when there's a lot of shows that usually close around this time. I think this is like a year where a lot have closed around this time, so that's making an even bigger slump. But something interesting to come out of it, the analysis of all of the grosses, is that Phantom of the Opera has now become the highest, like the big Broadway ticket, now that Music Man is gone,
Of course.
which is interesting, seeing that they've announced their closing. I know they extended it,
Mhm.
but I wonder if they're like announcing that their closing has anything to do with their high ticket sales now.
That's true. That's probably why they
Mm.
extended it.
That's what they always do.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
and
like
I'm
when
wondering
stores
if-
are like closing
Yeah.
and then they don't actually close.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
because I saw that when they initially announced their closing, they didn't post the closing date around the theater. Like they just said closing soon. So
Yeah.
it was almost as if they were hoping that
They're like,
people would
closing
flock out to
soon,
it, so that
4 years from now.
Yeah. Closing. I feel like it.
Yeah.
Actually.
Eventually, at some point.
With another Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, that's what happened when Cats was closing. It got like extended by
Okay.
like 4 or 5 months.
We don't talk about cats in this room.
Cats the musical is pretty good. The
No,
movie might
it's
not be-
not cats. We don't talk about cats in here unless it's the actual pet cat.
I'm allergic. Okay. Let me have this.
And you liked Cats the musical? I'm allergic to the musical, okay?
They do the little bendy dance.
What?
That's
Gabby, do you have bad memories of Cats?
I get
That was such a pun. That was such a pun. And
Oh.
I'm allergic to Cats the musical, actually. I'm sorry. We're talking about it. I'm sneezing. Yeah.
But Jason Derulo.
Just Derulo.
Okay.
It's
Cats
fun.
the movie is
Cats the
different.
movie was like entertaining to say the least.
Do not associate that with the musical.
I
Mhm.
don't want to talk about any Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is a thing, actually. So I was a theater kid, if we can't tell.
Mm.
And my director in high school hated Andrew Lloyd Webber, like so much so that we would never do an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, nothing Andrew Lloyd Webber. It was like He Who Shall Not Be Named in Harry Potter, you know, like that was Andrew Lloyd Webber. So I have a hatred for Andrew Lloyd Webber. You know, like it kind of
so much.
I know.
I
I can't stand him, and I won't ever give him money.
Money.
I refuse. And I will not be playing that, Victor. I don't want Victor asked in the script, do we have memories? And next
No.
I will not be playing
No.
memories. Okay.
I suddenly have
Lucky for
amnesia.
you, there's nothing in today's history of theater that has to do with, we'll call him ALW.
We will call him He Who Shall Not Be Named.
But what we do have in history of today, January 25th, it looks like in 1915, it's 90 in the Shade at the Knickerbocker Theater opened up. What a name. 1968,
Really funny.
Robert Anderson's family drama, I Never Sang for My Father, opens at the Longacre. 1973, National Lampoon's Lemmings plays at the Village Gate. 1978, Laughter runs at London's Royal Court Theatre. 1982, Faye Dunaway stars in The Curse of an Aching Heart. And I'll save that one for last because I think that's probably the most heartbreaking of the most. 2002, at a special sold-out performances of Les Mis, we can see such actors as Colm Wilkinson, Cameron McIntosh.
Aaron to it.
No, not Aaron Tveit. I think that was before they did the movie adaptation.
Yeah, but he's so beautiful. He was my favorite character in the movie adaptation, of course.
Gas.
And this
Beautiful man.
was because this was the date that Les Mis surpassed a chorus line in number of performances to become the second longest running show.
Sheesh.
And then 2007, a revival of Translations by Brian Friels opens at the Biltmore Theater. 2009, Hedda Gabler, the classic tale by Henrik Ibsen's Unhappy Married Woman in the 1960s opens up. Very fun. But the one that I really wanted to highlight is that in 1996, sadly, this was the date that Jonathan Larson passed away before before the opening performance of Rent, which will never not make me upset, because especially after watching Tick Tick Boom and understanding his whole arc of he wanted to change the world, to write something that has such an influence, and then he never got to see it. Because I think that Rent has the influence that he was looking for in modern culture, but he never got to see how much it would affect people. And that's like the kind of tragedy that you can't write. That's only the type of tragedy that can happen in real life.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking to me, because like Rent is is a musical that like is near and dear to my heart. And of course,
everyone
Jonathan
grows up
Larson.
on it. I feel like at one point when you're like a theater kid,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah, it's one that just sits there,
Mhm.
Oh, Jonathan Larson.
Thank you so
May he
much,
rest in
Ian.
peace.
Also, some discussion. One thing that I mentioned briefly is that Maud Apatow joining Little Shop of Horrors. I have heard that the newer production of it, the off-Broadway production, was looking to change the character of Audrey Moore from where previously it was easy to kind of just say it's like the young, almost ingenue that's like dim-witted and kind of like ditzy in a way. They wanted to go for more of an older approach to Audrey, where it's like almost worn down by the world.
Yeah.
And that's how they've been handling casting mostly. So kind of seeing a new young star put into place kind of worries some people. They don't know if they're going to revert back to like what's been done previously before, but I'm interested to see what happens with it.
I think she can do a great job, in all honesty, because like I think in terms of handling really emotionally heavy characters, you have the background of Euphoria. If you handle that situation,
let's be realistic.
handle a lot.
She is Lexi in Euphoria, and Lexi wrote a play in Euphoria. So I think she just got all of the.
This is meant to be.
It is.
She foreshadowed this.
Do you think Maddie's gonna run up on stage in this one too?
Hope not. I hope so.
I hope so. I think that'd be so fun.
It's like suddenly Seymour, she gets clocked in the face.
It's perfect right there. That's all we need.
Mad at this casting. I didn't know she sang. So I'm interested to see how her voice is and how she can handle musical theater songs in that sense, because I think Audrey's like low-key a really hard role vocally to play. You have to have a pretty good range for that. So
while keeping the accent.
Exactly. While keeping the accent. So I'm excited to see her do this. I think it'll be different, it'll be refreshing, and I think she's in acting, she's very strong in her own right. So new challenges for her, so I'm proud.
Another question that I wanted to ask the group before we head out. Who is your favorite go-to Broadway boy? Now, some examples I have here: Jeremy Jordan, Derek Klena, Aaron Tveit.
Okay, wait, pause.
You go first.
Go first.
I've seen Jeremy Jordan live on tour.
Thoughts?
I love Jeremy Jordan. I'm a big fan.
I
love that man.
I just literally love Newsies like with my entire heart.
Yes.
So like I love Jeremy Jordan. Sorry.
I never got into it.
No, my
I've
brother
seen it.
played less, and like when I was in high school, my brother was like 8 years old and he was 10. He was 10 years old playing less like in my high school. So like I love Newsies. Like
Did you
I
ever
just
see the
love
pro
it.
shot, like the recorded version?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so good. I watched that like when I tell you I watched it in theaters 3 times. I paid for that ticket 3 times, and I was just like, these people need my money. Because of Jeremy Jordan.
I just love it.
Jeremy
It's just
Jordan.
such a good.
Jeremy
I
Jordan.
just love Jeremy Jordan.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I've always been a Newsies girl.
Yeah.
The last 5 years.
Ooh, I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard very good things.
Oh, it's delightful.
I-
It's you haven't seen the movie?
no, I
Oh my gosh.
Anna Kendrick as well.
Anna
right?
Kendrick. Love that queen.
I'm a little bit biased in my take, I'd say, but I have to go Aaron Tveit because he's the one that I've seen live, but I've
Tveit.
followed his career, and like I think he has my favorite resume. You got Next to Normal, you've
He's
got
one
Wicked,
beautiful
you've got
man.
Catch Me If You Can, but like
I also
seeing
love
him last night, his voice sounds
You saw
exactly.
him last night.
Mhm.
You're
lucky,
evil.
lucky boy.
That's why I said I'm biased, but I think his voice sounds exactly as you would hope. It sounds better than better than I could have ever imagined. It melted me. Tango to Roxanne, my heart was pounding the entire time.
I hate you. And on that note, on that note, we have to take a break. Thank you so much for your segment. It was lovely.
Thank you so much.
I loved it. It was lovely. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I love that. So we're gonna take a quick break here on the Morning Buzz, and when we get back, we've got more fun news for you here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. So we'll be back.
Quiet on set. Sound.
Beating.
Camera. Mark it.
I hope you enjoyed that. If you are listening on Zoom, Facebook, Zoom, same thing.
We got real deep
I'm
in
so
here.
sorry, but we were listening to Seasons of Love
We got
because we were talking about Rent.
Yeah.
We just had to do it to him.
Seasons of Ian Love. I'm gonna keep it. I'm so sorry.
That's the name of the segment.
That's the name of the segment.
Seasons of Love.
Seasons of Ian Love.
Seasons of Ian Love.
Segments
of Ian Love.
right now.
I'll write that down.
Anyways, you were listening to the Morning Buzz Wednesday edition here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm your host, Gabi Lutz, joined with my co-host, Terry Dickerson.
Hello.
And then from left to right, we've got Ian Love, Alex Braun, and Ella Risen. So Ella Risen, since it's the top of the hour, would you like to give me a news update?
Of course.
Absolutely brilliant.
So Taylor Swift once again causing some drama in the White House this week. Senators from both parties gathered in agreement this week to put an end to the monopoly that is Live Nation and Ticketmaster. The main issue is that these bots that Ticketmaster owns essentially eat up immediately these mass amounts of tickets, and it makes it extremely difficult for regular people to get their hands on them at first original pricing. This all stemmed from the fiasco that was and still is the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. The most interesting part of this case was the Taylor Swift lyrics used by senators during the hearing. "She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers," said Senator Mike Lee from Utah. May I suggest Ticketmaster ought to go look in the mirror and say, "I'm the problem, it's me"? That was Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. And finally, Senator Mike Lee from Utah says again, "Some people think it's a solution. I think it's a nightmare dressed like a daydream."
Corny.
So we've decided. It's absolutely, positively awful.
Down with monopolies. Up with sports.
Sports. Hello, I'm Alex Braun, and this is Sports. Today in the NHL, the New Jersey Devils were able to defeat the Las Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime, and the New York Rangers will play the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight at 7. In basketball, the New York Knicks were able to just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 105-103, and the Brooklyn Nets will be going against the Philadelphia 76ers at 7:30. In Montclair sports news, the women's basketball team stormed back to knock Rutgers Camden 68-59. They will be playing tonight at 5:30 p.m. at Panzer. And in Montclair State men's basketball team, Rutgers Camden beat. The Montclair State men's basketball team beat Rutgers Camden 81-61, and they will also be playing tonight at 7:30 p.m. against Rutgers Newark. And today in sports history, in 1924, the first Winter Olympic Games were opened in Charminx, France. I'm Alex, and this has been Sports. Whoa!
Thank you,
So
Alex.
good.
You're
So
amazing,
good.
sweetie. All right,
Thank you.
guys. Now we're on to our second favorite segment of the week.
Oh my goodness.
Because our first one's, of course, Seasons of Ian Love. But our second one is Montclair State Confessions. Yes, these are not our personal experiences. These are stories from anonymous people who submitted to the Instagram account Montclair State Confessions. We're reading them and we're talking about these confessions. Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
So for the first confession, it's why does the library only have one working printer? Well, let me tell you, Montclair State student.
One specifically.
This is Montclair State. Go to University Hall, 5th floor.
If you feel like it.
They have more just for you.
Just for you.
Because the library likes to not work half the time. Welcome to Montclair.
Welcome to Montclair State. But yeah,
That's how you know this person's not a senior.
that's true.
Yeah.
Quite literally have
Definitely freshman.
multiple computer
Yes.
labs on campus and printing labs. So if one does not work, there are a multitude elsewhere.
I promise.
When one door closes, another
Another one-
printer opens.
Another elevator opens on the 5th floor of University Hall.
So that's their answer. I'm gonna take the next one.
Okay.
Why do some people want to prolong class for no reason, asking all these questions for no reason? I feel very passionately about this. So, okay, I'm a person who is like, oh my gosh, there's no stupid questions until there are. And
Agreed.
and like I feel like sometimes, especially during syllabus week, when people ask questions that are quite literally in
On the
the
syllabus.
syllabus, that makes me so upset when someone's like, oh, do you have office hours? And it's the third line on the syllabus. I'm just like, oh my goodness, you're dragging it right now. If you want clarification on things, like that's one thing. If it's not in there, yeah, ask your question. But when people don't read the syllabus before class, like people think that's corny, like, oh, I don't need to read the syllabus. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I suggest, and if you feel like it, you do. But it's important. So then you're not wasting my time.
I know,
And the
and
rest
it's
of
always,
everybody
like,
else's.
Everybody's like packing up their bags, ready to walk out the door, and then the professor's like, "Any questions?" Somebody's like, "Hand raised," and then like shoot their hand up in
And
the
they
air.
wait till the last second too. That
Mhm.
grinds my gears
It's like
so
the
hard.
class ends at 1:15. It's 1:14 and 59 seconds, and they're like, "I have a question, professor."
At this point, put it in an email.
And then the professor's like, "All right, everybody, listen, because this could be a question you have."
And you know,
And it's never a question you have.
ever, because I read the syllabi.
Because I know how to read. I am a college student. I know how to read.
And the worst question during the semester that I hear is this gonna be on the exam? Every time we have a lesson, like truthfully, if we're here and we're learning about it, likely it is. Likely it is. I'm being so honest. And I hate when people ask those questions just because it makes me feel like just listen to the lesson, because if we're having a discussion on a topic, right, and then someone chimes in with is this going to be on the exam, it just derails the entire discussion because you wanted to ask an irresponsible question.
Like, you will know if it's going to be on the exam when they tell you what's on the exam.
No, seriously.
Fun fact.
And if you're sitting there in class learning about it, it probably is going to be on the exam. It's probably important information because we're paying to be here.
Unless you have a professor who rants about everything.
That's true. I could
then I like and hate it.
I like an anecdotal professor.
I like it. And then when they just talk for hours about their life history, and you just sit there and your eyes start crossing,
right.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it's disgusting. I hate
fair.
that.
That's fair. I respect that.
Some of my professors do like a subtle flex because they're like history majors. They're like, yeah, I wrote a book about like this, and I'm like,
I knew George Washington back in the day.
I had a professor who did that in her email signature. She put every book and piece of media that she had partook in. And when I tell you, that could have been an entire email on its own. It was incredible. It was incredible. I had questions on that, but I would have sent them in an email instead of wasting time.
Sent them in the email with the signature that was just as long as another email. All right.
So answering questions, I feel like asking questions at the end of the class, it's annoying. I have been on both ends though of being annoyed by the person in class. Like there was one last semester where this one person in class would just always combat the teacher, being like, well, actually, wouldn't it be more like a theoretical approach this way? Like, please shut up. But I've also been on the side of sometimes if it's a topic like I'm very interested in, I'll just talk to the teacher about it without realizing that, oh, we are like in class right now.
So Ian is.
I am sometimes the one who asks questions. Like if it's something I'm really interested in without realizing it. So I'm so sorry.
Next time we register for classes, send me your schedule so I know what not to pick. I'm kidding. Before we move on to the next one, I want to say that low-key, our general manager, Annabella Poen, kind of called me out. She puts an Easter egg in her syllabus and she teaches podcast production on our campus. And I fully remember not seeing the Easter egg because I may have delayed my reading of the syllabus. So I might be a little bit of a hypocrite.
Yeah, only one of her classes are found.
Yeah, so I don't know. If you're listening from podcast production, I might have just told you a little hinty hint there.
She told my class about it.
Oh.
She was like, yeah, I put Easter eggs into the syllabus.
Yeah, she told my class after the fact because we should have read it. And I Annabelle, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's
but
okay.
I appreciate you. It's cool.
I read most of it until it gets to the campus course policies things, and I'm like, I already know all these because it's in every single syllabus.
That's so real. Like the cut and paste part of it.
Yeah, the part that everybody
that's real
does.
All right.
Victor is saying he doesn't read his syllabi.
And you know how I know that?
You
Because
are not
it's the wrong plural of syllabi.
You
It's
wrote
not
syllabuses.
syllabi.
It's syllabi.
And then followed up with calling us nerds.
Nerds. Don't worry, guys.
English is not my first language.
It's okay. But
So maybe you should read the syllabus. Okay,
let's get to the next one.
let's move on to the next one. I get having group meets to share notes and ask questions and complain, but cheating on a syllabus quiz of all things, some of you are just lazy. My God.
I agree.
No, that's very valid.
I
There
wholeheartedly
are certain
agree.
things that people want to cheat on in the group meet, and I'm like, why is this what you want to cheat on?
At that point, it's terrible. And I'm gonna preface this. Of course, we do not promote cheating.
No.
Not here at WMSE. Absolutely not.
No,
And like it's really so sick.
Alex over here like, I don't agree.
It's so sick when people you're like a syllabus quiz. At that point, why are you taking classes? Why are you here doing college at that point? Like
Okay,
if you Alex,
let's roll because
Alex is like,
sometimes.
whoa, some gen eds are hard.
Okay, playing devil's advocate. Maybe some. Okay, let's pretend your name is Victor and you don't read the syllabus.
And you
And
don't know what quiz is coming up.
yeah, you don't know there's gonna be a syllabus quiz. So you go into the group meet and be like, hey, give me the answers. If you don't get the answers, that's on you. But like me, I'll be like, sure, I'll just send a picture.
in my opinion, I think Victor should read his syllabi and be prepared for the quiz.
Hey, I'm not taking this slander from you. What's happening? Like, but like,
Yeah.
I
It's really
read it
good.
in like when he's discussing it, I don't read it beforehand. I read it like when he's talking about it. I'll be like, oh, I'm following you.
semester.
Ahead of the game. No.
No, I'm in the game. Like when the professor's discussing it, I'm reading it.
Right.
That's why.
For sure.
Yeah. Sure. He definitely doesn't pay attention while he's the person like texting.
For legal reasons,
Yeah.
all these are jokes. We don't promote cheating. Of course, be a good student. If you
Alex is
it.
like laughing.
Alex is just like in the corner.
But no, I agree.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
All right.
I'm gonna take the next one.
Okay.
So this person said, and I don't know if I agree with them.
I don't agree with it. That's for sure.
Not me.
Why is every Amanda you meet always the worst person on the planet? And you know who absolutely disproves this theory? Our lovely, lovely member, Amanda Gediosi. She is phenomenal. So
Our
not
Thursday
every-
morning host,
Yes.
Amanda Gediosi.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You can go listen to her if you feel like it. But she's phenomenal. She's such a doll. And that means that every Amanda you meet is not always the worst person. I'm sorry.
I actually have had good experiences with Amanda.
yeah.
I think like everyone has that person where there's like one name and you're just like, oh,
Mhm.
you can't.
but
like,
there's some,
It's not, for me, it's not personally Amanda, but like
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
Mine's
there's
Victor.
some names that are like somehow there's like a universal understanding that these names are bad, like J names.
Oh yeah,
I
you
feel
mean
like
my
every-
ex-boyfriend?
Like
I feel
every
like
guy.
everyone's really rough time with a J name.
No, but men J names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
that's-
women J
Yeah,
names.
not women J
Men
names.
J
Men
names.
J names.
One of my best friends is named Jack.
Do you
Well, he's
like it?
probably
My brother.
my nightmare.
Jack.
Two
No, it's
Jack.
like the Jack
Probably
and the Jake and
my
the
nightmare.
Jared and
The
the
Jason.
Jared.
Oh.
all of those boys of the world.
The Jasons.
I've
the worst.
never met an adult Jason.
I can tell you there's one that works at the rec center.
Oh,
There's
Just go to the rec, you'll meet him.
okay.
I've never met a kid named Robert
Jasons tap out at 18.
You've never
and
met a
they
kid
don't
named
exist.
Robert?
or like Gary. Like, have you ever met?
I know a
somebody-
Gary.
I know.
Gary and
But
Robert.
there's about 4 Jacks within my family. It's like there's an insane amount of us. But
4 Alex.
mhm.
There are plenty of Alexes. There's a plethora of Alexes.
There's one Gabby.
There is one Gabby. I'm looking
I feel
at
like
her.
I know more Gabbies, but I can't name them right now.
Oh,
they
there's a
don't
lot of
exist.
Gabbies. If they don't exist, I'm the only one.
I like didn't meet another Ella until I went to the school here.
I actually
Really?
grew up with an Ella.
I didn't know any.
She was an oddball. You're not though.
You want to hear something crazy? I
She said, all right.
So obviously, hi, my name's Terry, and I've never met that many people with my name.
No.
Probably like 3.
The only Terrys I know of are men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
funny you say that. There is someone on this campus with the same name, and my last name is Dickerson, and their last name is Nickerson. And isn't that horrifying?
There's no way.
So serious.
Crazy.
Like, and I've never crossed paths with this individual ever. So if you're listening, guy, I'm looking for you. I want to like recreate the not SpongeBob, the Spider-Man meme when you're like pointing.
Yes.
I want to do that because I've never met that many people with my name. And there's a phantom on this campus trying to be me. No.
On this canvas?
No, not canvas. On this
No.
campus trying to be me.
That's so
But yeah, that's
crazy.
kind of wacky and funny. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's so crazy. I hate when I look up my name on Google and then other Gabi Lutzes come up. I'm like,
There's
who are
more?
you? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can you believe it?
That must be one heck of a family reunion.
The best part is none of us look alike. I'm like the duff.
Just Gabby squared pulling up to the family reunion.
Just a whole bunch of us. Just when Gabby's collide.
That's kind of scary.
Absolutely.
Blockbuster dropping.
New musical dropping. When Gabby's collide, the musical. Also, I'm now also doing this British accent
You've always done it.
just out of spite.
Of Andrew Wood.
Oh.
I thought you meant
Because yes, but
ALW.
no, because Victor said he hates the accent, and so therefore I need to do it constantly.
see.
Okay, my inner voice is British. Like every time I'm doing something, if I'm narrating whatever I'm doing in my head, like I'm doing like the YouTube Let's Play, it's always British.
Knock it off.
I'll be like, today we're going to be making breakfast in the morning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I always
I feel like in
want
another
this.
life, Ian would be like a British detective,
I think
Sherlock Holmes.
Ian is British detective
That's
Sherlock Holmes
so
right
real.
now.
Let's
Let's
this is just
contemplate
like
that.
this is my newest case. I have to go very undercover.
Let's contemplate this case while we go on break.
undercover.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back here on the Morning Buzz. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Video Production Club. We are always looking for interested writers, actors, editors, production assistants,
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Hola. You're-
Stop. Victor's so tired of gabbing.
He is. He is. I've been bothering him. It's only the first day out here.
Well, your seatbelt, Victor.
It only gets worse.
Who would we be if not to stress out our producer?
I eventually will just like become this like dead being. I get bored. I'd be like, It's only because it's the first show, I promise.
Right.
I get calmer.
For sure.
He's being very producer with me right now, and I don't like that. And so apparently the Oscar nominations are in.
Yay.
Whoa, crazy. Can you believe it? I know I can't. It's that time of year when the Academy Awards slap you in the face with some nominations.
Ouch.
Yeah, it really hurt, right? It definitely hurt those people that weren't nominated. So let's look at the nominations. In Best Actor for a Supporting Role, we have Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin. Insurance? I don't know. I've never seen Insurance. The Banshees of Insurance. Then we got Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans, Barry Keegan for The Banshees of Insurance, and Ki Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Why do I know the name of that? Is that a book?
Everything Everywhere?
All
It was a really famous movie.
With the multiverse and the googly eyes. And it was really existential and deep and made people cry.
I haven't seen it.
Right?
Anyways, in Best Actress for a Supporting Role, we have Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Beautiful.
Hong Chow, I hope I said that right, for The Whale. Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Insurance. Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I still don't know what that
You are
movie
making
is.
me so sick not knowing this movie.
It was
I know
a
the name of
really
it.
big movie.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Okay, well then I'll watch it.
Okay.
Only when I feel like it though.
Okay.
Gosh.
You need to be in a mental space. I'm so serious.
Okay, well then I'm not in that mental space, so maybe another time.
Real.
My therapy not happening right now. In the Best Actor for Leading Role, we have Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Insurance. I don't even know this movie, and it's gotten so. I know.
Sure.
I'm calling it Insurance.
50%.
And Insurance, apparently. Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill. Is that
Nye.
supposed to be Knight or Nye?
Bill Nye?
Bill Nye.
Bill.
Is it Bill Knight?
Bill
Yeah,
Nye.
Bill Knight for Living. Victor, do your job right. Spell things right.
You put dashes.
Actress in a leading role, we have Kate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And for the biggest award in all of the night, the Best Picture nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of the Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everywhere, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. In more Oscar news, Jimmy Kimmel will be hosting the award ceremony once again. And sadly, no Will Smith.
Ooh. These are interesting nominations. I kind of want to talk about Best Picture for a second. I didn't think Avatar was gonna make it.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't think it was that like groundbreaking of a thing that
What?
was happening. I don't know.
Terry, come here. I need to feel your forehead. I think you have a fever.
I think I'm fine.
I think you have a fever.
Is it because I didn't watch the movie?
Because I didn't watch it either, but everybody
Me
was
neither.
talking about it.
I know
like-
everybody was talking about it, but like it took ages to make, and I was just like, okay.
I
it's
just
probably
thought maybe it would
one
be
of those
in
sequels.
the next year's.
Oh,
because
okay,
it
that
was
makes
so
sense.
late in the year.
My prediction for this, though, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to take it. They're
Yeah.
the most Oscar nominated movie right now. I think I forgot. I think it's 11 nominations. I
What
might
if
be wrong on
Elvis
that.
wins?
I don't think Elvis is going to win. It's
But-
truthfully. I'm
Hunka hunka burning love. You know? hunka hunka Ian love. Terry laughed with that one. I was not expecting that.
But I love Top Gun too.
Yeah, I
I
wonder.
saw that movie
I
like 4
love Top Gun.
times. I love Top
It's
Gun.
not
Fake,
winning.
you
No,
know?
I know, I get it.
No, it's a sequel.
Top Gun was kind of a sequel. too, 'cause
No,
it's
that's
based
a
off of-
remake.
It's not a remake.
No, it's not a remake.
It's
That's sequel.
It's not a sequel.
Yes, it is.
It's a
sequel.
sequel.
It's the
not a
first
remake.
Top Gun.
Tom
characters.
Cruise.
It's
The
not a
story like
sequel.
continues. Like
Yeah.
it's not like
Boo! You're wrong.
I don't care. I don't think it should win. Anyways, I'm
No,
I'm
it
sick of
shouldn't.
seeing men with the mustaches. Okay, I was
I
sick
love
of
the
it.
mustaches.
I'd like to
Of course you do, Ella.
give a nice shout out to Stephanie Sue for being the first person from both the SpongeBob SquarePants musical and Be More Chill to be Oscar nominated.
Oh.
Congrats.
Forgot. I absolutely love her, and I'm like, honestly, I think she deserves that award, especially because she did so well in that movie. Gabby, I really wish you had watched
I
it.
need to see it still. I've heard extremely
And
good
Everything
things,
Everywhere All at
but I
Once?
need to see it because I think it's going to win all
Or the
the
Banshees of Insurance.
My brother, I think my brother's seen that because I think it's based off a book that he's read, and he was talking to me about it and like gushing over it, and I was barely paying attention. It's like an Irish thing, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
life insurance.
I think the films that are probably going to take home the most awards, I think definitely The Whale. The Whale literally shook up so many people with how deep and emotional its story is. And I think Everything Everywhere All at Once did the same thing. So I think because one, cinematically, they're both gorgeous, and two, they had such a big impact on our culture for this past year. I absolutely think they're going to get the most awards out of all of the nominees. Elvis is fun. I think Elvis in like a visual sense is very pretty. I don't know if anybody else has seen Elvis.
I haven't seen it. I really want to.
Like cinematography wise, it's also a very like nicely put together movie. I can't use film jargon. I'm a journalism student, but it's just so well put together, and
it's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
It's Oscar winning.
It experiments a lot with different camera angles and all that stuff. So
wow.
I've seen clips of it, but I know it's Baz Luhrmann, which Baz Luhrmann is like a forefront of interesting cinematography. Going back to the discussion before, Baz Luhrmann did the original Moulin Rouge movie.
That's what I'm saying. It gave Moulin Rouge the same film style.
Because
Moulin
like,
Rouge a theme
it's, like,
today?
the same like fast, slow, like dazzling lights,
Yeah.
angles.
And Luhrmann also did Gatsby too. I think heavy influences on the Gatsby and Moulin Rouge, especially just because you got Elvis like illustrating like such a big, lavish, money-making lifestyle, and I think Luhrmann's film style really perfectly illustrates that because he's illustrated luxury in a lot of his films, and I think cinematically wise, I think Elvis should get some awards as well.
Yes, no, it definitely should.
Speaking of similar to Gatsby, Babylon, I think was in this season, but I don't think it got any like major nominations, did it?
Did it
I don't
come
know.
out in December? I think it did.
It came out like around the time that Avatar did, so
That's true. So I guess I didn't get anything.
I
It was-
guess.
anything? Nope.
Oh
I've
my
never even heard of
God.
that, so I
Yeah.
don't really care.
Movie.
Oh,
The one that's literally about how Hollywood like has a subplot about Hollywood looks over a lot of like groups
Mm-hmm.
and
You
then gets
reminded me
completely
I need
looked
to
over.
watch that because like
So
I
good.
haven't seen it yet, but I'm also surprised that they didn't receive anything just because that also had a huge impact on our culture, and like a lot of people were talking about it. That's like my main thing. It's just like, okay, there's like, you know, the cinematic aspects and the technical aspects, but it's
but
also
then
like,
also like how it affects people.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
look at the films that are in Best Picture. Everybody was talking about those films for
I
the most
know.
part. There's always some stragglers where people are like,
Yeah.
oh, you have to go to like a film festival to really know about this movie and stuff like that. But I'm really surprised to not see anyone from Nope in any of
Yeah.
the nominations. That's
Yeah, I
I think that
surprising.
Nope
don't
should have
know.
at least gotten like sound design or
Yeah.
cinematography, something like that. But to get nothing is wild.
I know it is wild.
Did the Academy say nope?
You know what else said no?
What?
Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco, guys. Do you want to talk about it, Terry?
Yeah, you know what? I will
This
because
is heartbreaking. I know. I'm
I'm
so
gonna-
upset that I can't talk about
I'm
it.
gonna talk about it because I've also been emotionally affected by this. I don't know negatively or positively yet, but Panic at the Disco, aka just Brendan Urie, has broken up. So
He
fans are
broke up with
panicking.
himself in the mirror.
No, literally. Fans are panicking over the breakup of emo band Panic at the Disco. Frontman Brendan Urie announced yesterday through Instagram on the news. Urie said, quote, "Growing up in Vegas, I could have never imagined where this life would take me. But sometimes a journey must end for a new one to begin. I'm going to bring this chapter of my life to an end and put my focus and energy on my family," end quote. The fans may think it is pretty odd, but this was a fever he couldn't sweat. Fans had high hopes this was a lie, but now Panic at the Disco will live in a house of memories, and may his new chapter be victorious.
That was so
Victor.
corny.
That was so.
Victor.
It worked.
Rios.
Victor Rios, because he's responsible for this part of the script.
Yeah, we couldn't
Right, Victor.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm not that upset about it. And why I
Oh,
say
I'm not
that,
either. if we're being
yeah, I don't.
honest.
I know there's some really, really deep Panic at the Disco fans out there, and I am one of them for the old stuff. This new album, I think a
Was
lot of
awful.
us can agree that was awful. It was terrible.
It was a 0 out
And
of 10.
it was a 0 out of 10, and I appreciate the work Brendan has done to fuel our emo hot topic dreams for this long.
And I will appreciate his phases of literally all his past albums up until Death of a Bachelor.
Yeah, Death of a Bachelor was terrible.
Oh, I loved Death of a Bachelor.
Oh, yeah.
That was his
I
last
thought you
good
meant
one.
that
No,
that
no,
was
no, no,
bad.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
That was his last good one.
Yeah,
I will
agree.
appreciate all of those till the day I die.
Yeah,
I may pray for the wicked sympathizer over here.
I don't like Pray for the Wicked.
I
I
think
can't
because
stand Pray for the Wicked.
it sounds very theatrical to me, like very like pseudo Broadway-esque.
I
Mm.
think that was the downfall of Brendan.
But
I'm gonna
that's
be
why
honest.
I liked it.
Well, because you're a theater kid,
True.
Broadway baby.
I didn't absolutely hate the new album. Like, I'm not gonna listen. I'm probably never gonna listen to it
was
ever
really
again.
bad.
But like, it was okay.
Yeah.
To me. Like,
No.
it also
It was
takes very
absolutely
little
awful.
to entertain me. Keep in mind, I have very low standards.
Some of the songs.
Yeah, some of the like Star Spangled Banner,
That's so corny.
low point in the album for me.
That one about the clown, I don't know what he was even called.
Here's the
It was
thing.
awful.
If in the future, because I know that one of the main reasons of the dissolvement of the band was Brendan wants to focus on his child that he's going to be having.
Yeah, he
Which,
also
funnily
announced,
enough, that
you know,
he once that kind of leaked that like a month or two ago, but it's neither here nor there.
can you just imagine like announcing that you're gonna have a kid and everybody else cares about the fact that you're breaking up the band?
Well, because here's the thing, all I've seen is people like rejoicing, but I feel like even if you didn't like the last couple albums, it's always kind of sad to see like because if new music is made, it's gonna be under like years down the line. If new music is made, it's probably just gonna be under a solo career from Brendan.
That's true.
So
Very
it is
well.
kind of sad to see that like one of the long lasting like almost 20-year bands is finally like we're never going to see music from Panic at the Disco again. We're never going to see Panic at the Disco go live on tour again.
Oh well.
That's true. It's
That's
gonna
so
be
sad.
Brendan like whenever he decides to go back on tour, which he likely will. He's a very
Mm.
talented individual, and I think
Oh yeah.
his shift to kind of like this Broadway pop thing like was not palatable for a lot of audiences because they were used to like
No.
what he normally did was the emo, the pop, the
So maybe he
punk.
needs
It
to
works
take a
for
break.
Brendan Urie,
he
but
does
not
need to
for
take a
Panic.
break. He's also gonna be a dad, so
Maybe he'll go back to dad music.
maybe
Fun.
potentially.
I'd like to see like a Brendan Urie like jazz album, honestly.
Mm.
On have you ever
Because
seen
some
his
of his
cover?
lower register
Yes,
gorgeous. Like the beginning of the song Death of a Bachelor.
yes.
Oh, I love
I
that song.
have you heard his cover of Into the Unknown?
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
gorgeous.
Okay, I'm on board now. At first when you said that, I was like, no, but now I'm on
Happened.
board.
He just needs to do better.
He just needs to detach himself from the Panic at the Disco because like I think there's also kind of that expectation if he still made music as Panic at the Disco to kind of conform to whatever
Panic
the
was.
band has been doing. So
That's
now
true.
he has more freedom to kind of branch out without the fear of fans being like, this isn't what we expected from the band.
Respectable as well.
That's true.
That's true. That's a respectable take.
That is respectable. I respect that. And I'm going to keep respecting that while we go on break here on the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We'll be right back with some more fun stories. So stay tuned. Here's the Happy Fits.
Another day, another try. Sing your dreams alone.
here on the Morning Buzz. I know you missed us. You know what else we are going to miss? The M&M mascots.
So
I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me home. Sorry. Yeah, so the M&M mascots are getting replaced
by who?
by a Rudolph.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Tell me more.
Oh, M&M has announced comedian Maya Rudolph will be the spokesperson for the M&M's big game commercial that will air on February 12th. Rudolph said, end quote, I'm thrilled to be working with M&M's. I am a lifelong lover of the candy, and I feel like it's such an honor to be asked to be part of such a legendary brand's campaign, end quote. This news comes after M&M's announced they will retire their spokes candies after a year of controversy after changing the look of the red, yellow, green, blue, brown, and orange M&Ms. Morning Buzz assistant producer Victor is a big fan of M&Ms and thinks the spokes candies should stay. Muniz Rosa said, end quote, top 10 saddest moments of my life is when M&M spokes candies left, end quote.
No,
He
you
could
did
have
not
literally
do
quoted
that.
himself right here. Why did you not do that?
I'm a producer. I'm in behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah,
That's
but like
true.
you could have like said your
he is
quote. It
nothing
would have
but a
been like a little
phantom.
like moment of like the quote came in, the quote came out, you know?
Yeah, it's like a
I'm the
soundbite.
producer. I do whatever I want.
Yeah,
As Bad Bunny once said, I do whatever I want.
yeah.
I didn't know you were a Bad Bunny. That's so crazy.
Oh.
That's so crazy.
Anyways,
Any hoots?
I am really upset that they'd be retiring the spokes candies, as they call it, because like they're a classic. Why are you retiring?
People were just mad that they like took away the green candies boots, and then they just thought, let's put Maya Rudolph.
So green candy got changed, and then they're like, okay, a whole thing gone, Maya Rudolph.
Yeah,
I see.
they
That's
added a
what's
purple
dramatic.
M&M too.
That I
They
didn't
just
know.
added her. Is it Maya M&M?
Is she an M&M?
Like they added the female. It was like supposed to be for like feminine.
I thought it was like somebody said the plus size M&M, and I was like, she looks like every other M&M. I don't know. I don't know. Are we Victoria's Secret now? I'm kind of confused.
I'm seeing the purple one, but I'm
Yeah.
not seeing if it's Maya Rudolph or not.
I don't know. I really don't understand what's going on with M&Ms. They're really confusing me, and I'm really upset about it because like the candies are so funny.
They are funny, and I think it's just a classic look that M&M has had for so many years. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, people are like, "Oh, we need to rebrand and stuff like that." But I think it's just fun to have M&Ms be the spokesperson for
M&Ms.
the candy.
It's been like that for forever.
And maybe just redraw them or just brand them as a crew instead of just putting Maya Rudolph. Like Maya Rudolph is funny, like she's cool, whatever. But it's more so the fact that like I think marketing wise, the M&M's little crew that they got going on has always been really like noticeable. The merch has always been like really fun. And now what? Are they just gonna slap Maya Rudolph's face?
I was gonna say, when you go to like the M&M's world in
That's what-
New York, is it just gonna be Maya Rudolph statues everywhere instead of
I've
the
seen
M&Ms?
a lot of
Right.
articles with Maya Rudolph and the purple M&M next to each other, so that might be her.
I'm saying.
I'm not quite sure.
I wonder if it's her. I wonder if her voice is gonna be over it.
Is it maybe that they're retiring all the spokes candies and bringing in one new one? So it's not like live action Maya Rudolph. It's Maya Rudolph as a new mascot for M&Ms.
Okay, here's
Because
where-
I feel like it would feel weird just to have like Maya Rudolph be the spokesperson.
Yeah,
for
that's
M&Ms.
confused because I had read M&M's announcement like on the actual like Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and I didn't understand it. Like I still don't. And the pictures on their profile are still of the M&Ms.
That's true.
J.K. Simmons is the yellow M&M. The guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man.
Oh.
He's the yellow M&M.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
I'm
they just added the purple one into
I'm
the
not seeing any
Yeah.
pictures.
confirmation. According to NPR, they said last fall M&M introduced a new purple character, and there's no follow-up on whether that is Maya Rudolph like at all. And then later on in the article it says Rudolph will debut as M&M's new spokeswoman during the big game. So I don't think she's the purple M&M.
Can you even eat a purple M&M? Like my job. Like, am I missing something? Because I'm like, I'm like trying to rethink of M&Ms now. I'm like, there's not a purple one.
No, it's
Definitely will be now.
I just wanted to make sure I
There's
wasn't
definitely
going
going to.
crazy. So I was like, I've
Maybe
never
they're just
eaten a
adding purple
M&M.
into the M&Ms, and that's the way that they're doing it.
maybe it'll just be a 30-second commercial of Maya Rudolph eating purple M&Ms.
That's
I
true.
don't
Then
know.
that's the whole thing.
I mean,
That's the whole bit
I would laugh.
for the entire commercial.
I don't know.
I would think that's
It's pretty memorable.
a pretty cheap commercial.
It would be
Pretty
cheap.
cheap commercial.
Just get
That's
it.
true. I don't know. Maya Rudolph might be a little expensive.
Wait, this article is like, can Maya Rudolph save M&Ms? I didn't know they were like in
What?
danger.
Love M&Ms.
I don't-
I feel like they're a classic. Who doesn't eat M&Ms? Like what?
I think it's just like what's all been happening with the green M&M, and then I think there's been some controversy over
I
like the
don't-
brown M&M.
Literally an M&M. Candy and I can't talk about it anymore. I'm done talking about it. Let's move on.
Okay. I'll
It
take the next one.
appears
Oh.
you take
I-
it. Take it.
I'll
Just take
take
it.
it.
Just take it.
So it appears George Santos, the Republican for Long Island, has also lied about appearing on Hannah Montana. So interesting. So I guess he's not really getting the best of both worlds because he's under fire for the past few weeks about lying about his time as a drag performer. And the latest revelation about Santos's life, seemingly never-ending list of lies that was reported by Politico, has centered around an old Wikipedia user's biography that claims he appeared in the Disney Channel show Hannah Montana alongside Miley Cyrus. The username for Anthony DeVolder, a name that Santos has used elsewhere, contains bibliographical details that appear to line up with the lawmaker's life, including being born in Brazil around July 1988. And despite a recent claim from Santos that he had never performed in drag, the bio also claims he worked as a drag queen from age 17 and won several gay beauty pageants. Here's the thing with the George Santos thing, right? Like, let him live. I don't quite care that he potentially had a background in drag. I don't quite care that he might have appeared on Hannah Montana. I feel like people are
I
lighting
knew
him up.
nothing about this.
Oh, really?
No.
People
It's
were
so funny.
yeah,
It's
like,
He's just like
hilarious.
like every day there's like a new lie about him. And
yeah.
it's just like unbelievable. Like
People are definitely just making it up for funsies.
Like, why should it be such a big deal?
That's
is
what I'm
my
saying.
question.
Regardless if it's true or not, that's my whole point. It's just like I don't
It's
care.
probably
Like,
not.
I
You know what
flex if I was,
probably
like, in
is?
Montana, but like I get why some people wouldn't necessarily want to.
You know why it's probably like some big deal? It's probably a bunch of people around our age are making up these lies,
yeah.
posting them, and then making it seem like a big deal that it's a lie just because it's funny.
That's so real.
And that's exactly what's probably happening.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I just debunked it.
Apparently, like other drag artists might have like remembered him, and like they like regardless, like Ian was saying, like it shouldn't really matter. Like
No.
once you like you did a career pivot, you're no longer a drag queen, and you're now working in politics. Good for you.
What a
Like,
moment. That is
what
a big
pivot.
turnaround.
That's a pivot for real.
That's really.
But he did it.
He
like,
said, "Let me take a little
Good
leap."
for you. I feel like a lot of people have like internalized like homophobia about like performers in general, and specifically drag performers coming from the Republican Party. So, or just honestly society in general. So I feel like that's why everybody's making a big deal out of this, where like realistically, if he wanted to keep that part of his life private for whatever reason, he's completely entitled to do so. And I think people digging and trying to find something on him just for the sake of doing it is just really extra. Like, politics aside, like just leave the dude alone.
That's the thing, is people don't know how to leave people alone.
So real, especially in the
That's
world of
why-
the internet.
That's
It's-
why cancel culture became such a big thing.
yeah, and
'Cause
like
people just had to dig stuff up.
seriously, and you have to also keep in mind like your digital footprint constantly, because you never know what people are gonna find on the internet or what
No.
people are gonna make up based on stuff that's out there on the internet. So it's just like, ugh.
I've
like,
said it before.
what are we talking about?
Exactly. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'd never want to be like really famous because I don't want people to like look for stuff and dig stuff up on me, because I'm sure there's something out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this now so that whoever
Terry's like, I'm exposing myself now.
I'm gonna expose myself now, so when I'm super cool, rich, and famous, they don't come after me. I did leave a hate comment on Rebecca with Black's Friday video.
No.
I did. I did.
Wow.
I was 8 years old, and I said "this sucks" in all caps, or like something like that. So if whoever finds it, don't come at me because I'm already admitting my faults. Rebecca Black, you're a lovely woman. But you know what? I gotta cover my.
She's
booty
making an
now.
actually like real music career now.
Yeah, she can sing.
Good for her.
Like Loki, she can sing.
Queen.
But my point is, watch out with your digital footprint because people be trying to find your stuff.
Because you're a hater.
I'm not a hater anymore. I've grown.
You've grown.
I've grown.
This is her apology video.
This is my
I've
apology
grown.
video.
I
If I'm
promise.
ever gonna make an
Guys.
apology video, it's right here on the Morning Buzz.
And you've done it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm ready for this story.
Which is really interesting.
Which
Are you ready?
Yes.
The US is ugly.
Yes.
True.
This is amazing.
Truth.
So there
Can't
is
even be like, no.
there is nothing worse than to look at an ugly building. What happened? So much money for that? A website called buildworld.com ranked the top 10 ugliest buildings in the world. As people say in the US, go big or go home. 6 of the world's ugliest buildings are, of course, American.
US on top.
Number one, always.
Number one
At
country.
number 10. Are you ready? At number 10,
Mhm.
we have the Las Vegas Trump Tower.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Trump anything. Put it on.
At number 9, we have the Denver National Airport.
Okay, I can see that. I can see
With Newark.
True.
that.
At number 8, we have the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C.
Wrong.
Okay. At number 7, we're 7. You completely skipped 7, Victor.
Those are the US.
Oh,
Six.
these are only the U.S. He didn't give us all the 10. He's just giving us the.
US is ugly, not every other
Okay,
building.
whatever. So he's like, some of them are from Puerto Rico.
None.
Okay, whatever. The Verizon building in New York City is at number 6. Boston City Hall is at number 4. And the J. Edgar Hoover building in Washington, D.C. is at number 2.
What's number one?
Are you questioning what's number 1?
Yeah.
Blanton
Actually,
Hall.
it's in I was gonna say Freeman Hall, but you know,
I would say Freeman. Freeman, like, there's points where you look out and you'd have a perfect skyline view.
we're
And
not
then
talking about the
Freeman
view
Hall.
from the building. We're talking about the building.
But like the building is just
Disappointing,
smack
'cause, like,
dab.
the school
right
is
in
so
the middle.
pretty, and then there's like
And then there's just like there's a couple buildings that you look at and you're like,
there's-
what
it
is
looks
this?
like a prison. Like
Okay.
awful.
Okay. All right. It's not the ugliest building in the world. All right. You want to know what it is? The Scottish Parliament building in Edinburgh, Scotland.
It's so true. If you-
Scotland's got the ugliest building.
Oh.
it is a.
I can't. I don't have a Scottish accent. I'm
It's a
sorry.
janky looking building.
Is it? I
Yeah.
feel like I have to look it up
Yeah.
now.
I'm
It
looking
looks-
at the Hoover building right now.
Hold on. I'm gonna share it on
For
Zoom.
Zooms.
Don't worry for
For
me.
Zooms.
You know what's interesting? That
Victor.
like I think it's like One Park Towers or something. It's whatever building is taller than the Empire State Building and like just an eyesore in New York City.
The
is
Jenga
not-
building?
Victor is scrolling and I'm trying to find it.
Yes.
There's a weird building in the city that looks like if you just took Jenga blocks and just stacked them all on top of each other, and then like there's just jagged like walls coming out of it.
Oh.
Verizon building is kind of weird because
Is
it's
it?
just a concrete like block with like a bunch of like kind of holes type. There's no windows.
Really? What?
And yeah,
There's no way there's no build. No
yeah. There's this giant concrete like monolith,
Hold on, I'm looking for the Verizon
Monolith.
building.
I'm
and it's like, have you ever watched Men in Black?
yeah.
That building he walks into, that's like
That
supposed to be
is an
that
ugly
type of
building.
building.
Sick to me, but in my opinion,
Is this wait? So is Victor pulling up the? That's no, that's not it. That's not it.
There's no way that can be.
Okay, but like in New York City, you got the beautiful skyline, all the glass type buildings, and then you just got this concrete chunk.
ugly.
Well, that doesn't look like it looks
Okay,
hard.
that's ugly. I get it, but I really do think Freeman Hall is worse.
It looks like every other building. I'm sorry.
Okay, now did you pull up the Scottish
It looks
building?
like every other building.
I missed that.
She's not like the other buildings. She's quirky.
She's built
She-
different.
She's
literally built.
I'm literally built different.
she's literally
I'm looking
built
at the
different.
Hoover building right now, and I didn't know it was the FBI headquarters, but
Oh.
in my opinion, yes, it's ugly, but it looks kind of cool at the same time.
Terry be like, that's me.
No, that's like my opinion. I think it's kind of sick looking, but I think if I worked there,
Sick, like ill.
No, cool, like cool.
Oh,
and
that's
hip.
kind of fun. The Scottish Parliament building's actually kind of cool looking.
Yeah, why is that the ugliest
That's
building?
not ugly.
If anything, the
Whoever
FBI
made
building's
this
fun.
list does not like modernity.
Obviously, what is
That's
it? It's
real.
buildworld.com is wrong.
That's
I'm
that
gonna
sounds
make
like
my
a
own
fake
list.
website. Buildworld.com.
I'm gonna make my own list.
World.
GabiWorld.com.
Top of our. I feel like our
Top
list.
of my list.
My list would just be like almost all.
No. Freeman Hall, number 1. Clinton Hall, number 2.
I just think that Freeman's
Webster,
just like
3.
Freeman's just like
You like
okay.
Dickerson.
So the one
Dixon,
time
4.
I was at Red Hawk deck and I was looking out to the skyline and there's almost a perfect skyline view, except for right smack dab in the middle was Freeman Hall. Looking
It's so
different than
ugly.
every other building.
It's absolutely an ugly building. And I don't know why it has not been renovated. This is a cry for help.
I also feel like, what do you guys think is the prettiest building on campus? I want to be biased and say School of Comms, but I also really
I
like
was gonna
Cell.
say
I wanna
school
say
of business.
I was gonna
Kinda
say
nice.
student recs.
I was gonna say what?
Interesting
Yeah.
take. I've never heard.
No.
people
As
say
somebody
that.
who works in that building, I veto that.
I like
Not
Wrong,
veto.
bad.
Bad. Incorrect. I honestly think College Hall is beautiful.
also the students.
I do.
That's
I will
true.
never call it Cole Hall. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Yeah, I respect that.
But
The inside of the cells building. The
Which one
Center
is
for
that?
Environmental Life Science.
oh, that building
Immaculate.
is gorgeous
Inside,
inside.
it's like the spiral staircase.
It's stunning.
Stunning.
Absolutely.
Stunning. Absolutely
Stunning.
Yeah,
It's really a
you got the
beautiful-
New York City skyline right there
Ooh,
too.
yeah.
that's true.
You need to go up on the little porch and see.
Yeah. I
Yes.
Got that patio out back.
Yes,
the
it's
cell
so
terrace.
pretty.
This
Ooh,
is
and then
just
a nice like spring day when it's like finally warm and you can just do your work outside.
Yes.
Alex is setting the scene right now.
He is. All right,
Like
send
it's
the
ready.
scene more. Are you gonna write a
Like-
book?
Blue skies, like 1-2 clouds over by the skyline.
Just 2.
I feel
Just
like
two.
I'm there.
Wow.
Ugh,
Everybody's blasting music.
you sure.
Can't get any work done, go
You
back
smell
inside.
smoke.
Ugh,
And that is the view.
I'm gonna move on because this next final story.
Oh
we
my
have, like,
lord.
3 more minutes to talk about the Army Corps of Engineers releasing a 2023 calendar of giant cats
I need to
attacking
see this.
infrastructure.
I need to see
And
this.
it's incredible. So back in November of 2021, the government passed the $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and it looks like it's not a moment too soon. According to Good News Network, quote, the new 2023 calendar highlighting the achievements of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers features giant cats superimposed in photos of their engineering successes, end quote. More than anything, it's really just cats being cats, attacking things, lounging around, chewing on stuff, you know, typical cat stuff.
But it's buildings.
So I want you, if
Sorry.
you look on Facebook, you can see what's going on here. So we have like a bulldozer. What is that called? A crane?
Yeah.
A crane, and
That's
there's like
so funny.
cats with their mouths open, screaming
Oh,
at it
what a
on like,
moment this is.
like on rocks.
The ones using like the thing as a cat scratcher. That's
They're
really
like-
funny.
Do you think these cats are screaming, meowing, or yawning?
Yawning.
Yawning.
As
What?
a cat owner, they're yawning.
Okay, real.
Fellow cat owner.
And
Fellow
like
cat
this
owner.
one cat is doing like a Titanic
Titanic moment. Where's
she's-
the other cat?
she's sitting at the front of a boat and she's being real pretty.
This is so cute.
She is the moment. So yeah, that
Look,
is
the one that's, like chewing at the top of a
Aw,
wall. It's
that
so
one's really cute.
These are adorable.
These are adorable. For our listeners, if you want to go check it out, you're more than welcome to.
I feel
Um,
I'm in love with this calendar.
Me
Somebody
too.
please. This is a cry for help. I want this calendar.
I do
I
have a
don't like
quick
it.
question for the group before we come off of this show. If you could make a calendar out of anything, what would it be and
Ooh.
why?
It would be cats.
Celebrities
love
on
cats.
sandwiches.
Ooh, like
You
so.
had that answer.
Celebrities
already.
eating sandwiches.
No, so there's a
As
in-
as
there's an
sandwiches.
Instagram that I follow called Celebrities on Sandwiches where they paint celebrities sitting on sandwiches. and
That's amazing.
Is it like a pun with their name, or is it just
No.
like vibes?
It just like there's a picture of Danny DeVito sitting on a gyro.
That makes
I
sense.
love
though.
that.
That makes sense.
I feel
yeah.
like I just would like to have celebrities doing weird things.
That's true.
You know?
I like that.
Like, or just like
Like
normal things. Like I
Yeah.
want like
mowing a lawn.
Kylie Jenner eating a hamburger. Like that's what I want.
They're just like
I
us.
like that.
Right?
I super
Celebrities
like
eating
that.
hamburgers.
Yeah, right. Harry Styles drinking a glass of milk. I don't know.
I would like that, but in like a
Sure.
comic book caricature type of art
Yes.
style too.
Vibes.
I think that would be really, really funny.
Or just a cat calendar. I like cat calendars.
Yeah, I get the impression that you really like cats.
I do.
Celebrities of
Yeah.
Cats.
Ella, do you have an idea for a calendar?
I want a hot dog in every season. Like a like
Yeah.
I love hot dogs. I would like a
Yeah.
January hot dog, a
100%.
Valentine's hot dog, a St. Patrick's Day hot dog.
You've just
Like-
ended it on the perfect note right there.
Yeah, the glizzies.
I love dogs.
Oh,
They're so underrated. They're so underrated.
And on that note, we are officially done here on the Morning Buzz Wednesday edition. Our first buzz of the semester, my last first buzz. I can't speak. And we will hear you next week here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I miss you already. Bye.
bye.
No hot dog.